The little girl looked down at the empty lunchbox in her hands and then back at the old man sitting alone on the cold sidewalk. Rainwater dripped from his gray hair, his hands trembled from hunger, and people walked past him as if he didn't exist. She had only one small sandwich left, the only food she would have until the next morning. Her stomach growled painfully. She closed her eyes, took one deep breath, and placed the sandwich into the stranger's shaking hands. "You need it more than I do," she whispered. The old man stared at her with tears in his eyes. Before she could walk away, he quietly said, "Little one, tomorrow, your life will change forever." She smiled politely, thinking he was only trying to be kind. She had no idea that by sunrise, the entire town would be speaking her name. Emma was only 9 years old, but life had already taught her lessons most adults never had to learn. She lived in a tiny apartment with her widowed mother, Sarah, who worked long hours cleaning offices after everyone else had gone home. Bills piled up on the kitchen table faster than they could be paid. Some nights the electricity flickered because the payments were late. Some mornings there was only toast for breakfast. Yet Sarah always reminded Emma that kindness was the one thing poverty could never steal. Every afternoon after school, Emma walked the same streets carrying her worn backpack. She knew every broken sidewalk, every small shop, and every lonely face she passed. The old man had appeared only a few days earlier. No one knew where he came from. Some people called him a beggar. Others avoided even looking at him. Emma simply saw someone who looked hungry. That evening she returned home trying to ignore the hunger twisting inside her stomach. Sarah immediately noticed something was wrong. "Didn't you eat your lunch?" she asked. Emma hesitated before quietly answering. "Someone else needed it more." Sarah's eyes filled with emotion. She hugged her daughter tightly, even though she secretly worried about how little they themselves had. That night, mother and daughter shared the last bowl of soup in the apartment. Neither of them complained. Across town, the old man slowly entered a small hotel instead of sleeping outside. He removed his worn coat, revealing a neat suit underneath. His driver, who had been watching from a distance all day, rushed toward him. "Sir, are you all right?" The old man smiled softly. "I found her." "The girl?" "Yes. The one who gave without expecting anything back." The driver looked confused but asked no more questions. The next morning Emma arrived at school only to find everyone whispering. A black luxury car was parked outside the entrance. Teachers stood nervously near the gate. Moments later the principal entered Emma's classroom. "Emma," she said gently, "someone would like to meet you." Emma's heart raced. She wondered if she had done something wrong. When she walked into the office, she froze. Sitting there was the same old man from the sidewalk, except now he wore an elegant suit. His posture was strong. His eyes were warm. "You?" He smiled. "Yes, little one. Today I came to thank you." Emma looked completely confused. The principal quietly explained that the man was Mr. Harrison, a retired businessman known throughout the state for building hospitals, schools, and charities. After losing his wife, he had spent months traveling anonymously, hoping to understand how people treated strangers when no cameras were watching. "I wasn't searching for the richest person," he said. "I was searching for the kindest." Emma looked down. "It was only a sandwich." "No," he replied. "It was everything you had." Silence filled the room. Then he handed Sarah an envelope when she arrived at the school, frightened after receiving an urgent phone call. Inside was a letter offering to pay every cent of Emma's education until university. There was also financial support to help Sarah rebuild her life. Sarah couldn't speak. Emma simply asked, "Does this mean Mom won't have to work every night?" Mr. Harrison nodded. Tears rolled down Sarah's face as she embraced her daughter. News spread quickly through the town. Reporters wanted interviews. Television crews gathered outside the school. Headlines praised the mysterious little girl whose kindness had changed a millionaire's heart once again. But Emma didn't enjoy the attention. She quietly told reporters, "Please don't make me famous. There are still many hungry people outside." Those simple words touched millions online. Donations poured into local food banks. Restaurants began offering free meals to families in need. Students started sharing lunches with classmates who had none. Teachers noticed children becoming kinder to one another. One small act had created a wave no one expected. Weeks later, Mr. Harrison invited Emma and Sarah to visit a community center he was rebuilding. When they arrived, Emma noticed a large empty room. "What will this become?" she asked. He smiled. "That's for you to decide." Emma looked surprised. "For me? I've spent my whole life building buildings," he said. "Now I'd rather help people build hope." Emma thought carefully before answering. "A place where nobody leaves hungry." Within months, volunteers transformed the room into a free neighborhood kitchen. Local farmers donated vegetables. Bakers brought fresh bread every morning. Doctors volunteered for health checkups. Retired teachers offered free tutoring. Children helped pack food boxes after school. Emma became the youngest volunteer there, greeting every visitor with the same smile she had once given a lonely stranger. One freezing winter afternoon, another little boy entered the kitchen wearing torn shoes. He quietly admitted he hadn't eaten for 2 days. Emma prepared a warm meal herself. As the boy began eating, she recognized the same grateful expression she had once seen in Mr. Harrison's eyes. She understood something important. Kindness never truly ends. It simply travels from one heart to another. Years passed. Emma grew into a compassionate young woman. She earned excellent grades, not because success mattered most to her, but because she wanted to help even more people. When Mr. Harrison grew older and weaker, he often visited the kitchen just to sit quietly and watch families eating together. One evening he told Emma, "People think I changed your life." She smiled gently. "You didn't?" "No." He shook his head. "You changed mine." Months later, after Mr. Harrison peacefully passed away, the town gathered for a memorial unlike anyone had ever seen. Thousands attended. Not because of his wealth. Not because of his business success. But because of the lives he had touched. After one hungry little girl reminded him what true generosity looked like. During the ceremony, Emma stepped forward holding a faded lunchbox, the same one she had carried years earlier. "I kept this," she said softly, "because it reminds me that you never have to be rich to make someone feel seen." The crowd stood in complete silence. Many wiped away tears. Children who had grown up visiting the community kitchen now volunteered there themselves. Families who had once received help had become donors. The chain of kindness had never been broken. As the sun slowly set behind the town, Emma placed the old lunchbox inside a small glass display near the entrance of the kitchen with a simple message beneath it. "The greatest gift is not giving what you have left. It is sharing what you cannot afford to lose." Everyone who walked past stopped to read those words. Some smiled. Some cried. And many quietly decided that before the day ended, they too would help a stranger. Because one little girl had proven that the smallest act of kindness can become the beginning of thousands of miracles.